Guys, welcome to another episode of Know Your Worth TV. We have another nominee here from the Content Creators Experience. Remember that you guys can see all these nominees and the show on June the 28th. Some exciting stuff. Content Creators EXP, you want to be there. It is located in Miami. So if you guys are in the Miami area, make sure that you guys get your tickets for that. However, we have Miss Keymia in the building. She does have a travel and tourism business, and she's going to be talking a little bit about the business itself. She's going to talk about the ups and the downs because we all know through every successful person, there's actually a story on the back end. And that's what we really love to tap into. Social media will give you all the glitz and the glamour, but people don't realize the sleep that you lose sometimes trying to build a successful business. So, Miss Kimaya, how are you doing today?
I am doing good today. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. Can't complain. Excited to see another nominee here. Obviously, you're special, right? Someone nominated you for an award, so that makes you very special. Not that we need the awards to know our worth per se, but it is always cool when your work gets recognized. So, tell us a little bit about the business. You have a travel and tourism business. What is it about? What does it entail?
Okay, so the name of the business is Key to MIA. Again, my name is Keymia, so you see the play on words there. It
I do.
is
I do.
it is a travel and tourism based business here in Miami. So we specialize in bespoke tours, custom tours. We also have three signature tours that we do. And on the travel side, I do custom itineraries. So it's primarily here in Miami, but it can be anywhere. We'll create the itinerary for you. Started the business in 2019 BC before COVID, and we're still rocking and rolling. So here we are.
Why you gotta do that like that, BC? Why you gotta do it like that? I mean, that's actually a really good question. So, how did that impact the business, COVID?
Oh man, the entire world stopped, and we know that one of the biggest industries in Miami is tourism. Like people come here; it's a tropical destination year round, where you don't need a passport, and just having literally everything shut down. No one could travel anywhere, especially coming here where my business is based. It was a huge opportunity, I guess you could say. I don't even want to say a setback, but an opportunity. So I really had to learn to pivot. And I had a math teacher in high school who used to say, apply what you know to a problem you've never seen. So I had to actually like implement that in real life in 2020 and start to create a virtual platform with some of the offerings that we had. So
And what was some of those things that were you still kind of doing in the business realm of the travel and tourism, or just some of the, I guess, some of the knowledge that you knew that you were trying to just implement to make a source of income?
So before the pandemic, I had quite a few tours that were offered, at least like 7 or 8 different tours. With 2020, when it approached, I just kind of took a moment to pause and assess what was working, what wasn't working, and to kind of realign things once everything did reopen. What I did end up doing with some of those tours that were super successful was converting them into virtual experiences. So
Oh
once
wow.
we could get back outside, I was out there with my camera, videotaping, recording so that it was something that was easily accessible for everybody when they were ready to visit Miami. So I brought Miami to everyone since they couldn't come to us. And there was also a chef that I
That's
worked with,
dope.
Chef Brandon, shout out to him. He would come to your location to teach you, you know, any type of culinary experience that you wanted. But since again everything shut down, what we did was we kind of put our heads together and created Taste of Miami. So again, bringing Miami to you, we would let you curate your own recipe, and he would hop on and we would cook with you in real time. So definitely, like I said, had to pivot and learn to adjust with what was given to me.
So you weren't playing. You
Nope.
really pivoted really quick. Like, all right, well, if I can't be out and about, I'm gonna go ahead and figure this out. So that's actually amazing that you were able to do that. I know the world went into a virtual experience during that time, and that's pretty dope. Virtual experience, I would say, to bring people to Miami in that way. What led you to start a travel and tourism business? Is it something that you've always loved traveling? How did that all come about?
I've always loved travel, but I had no idea that I was going to end up down this path. You could give me a plane ticket to go anywhere and I'm ready. But as far as planning it out for anybody else, again, never saw myself really doing this. It was a conversation that I actually had with my mom. So 2018 was super rough for me. I went through a job loss, I went through a divorce, I went through everything like back to back sequentially. And talking to my mom just to kind of deflect and get my mind off of everything that was going on. We were talking about some family members that were actually coming to the Miami area. And I noticed in that conversation, it was always these three questions that came up whenever anybody came. The first one is where to stay. Usually my answer is, well, I can direct you to a hotel because I'm nowhere near the beach. You cannot stay with me. So that was one of the things. The other is like, what to do. They want to know like where do the locals go? What are some hot spots? And then it's always what to eat. So those three questions just kind of spiraled into this idea of being able to allow people who were coming here to live like a local. So it was my mom that came up with the idea to name the business Key to MIA. And I just really figured it would be an opportunity to combine my love for culture and also connecting with people. So I got to showcase a side of Miami that most people don't get to see, but also get to engage and connect with people at the same time.
Dope. And did you born and raised in Miami or?
I was not. I am a North Carolinian. I have lived here since 2010.
Wow, and just look at how that just played out. And it could just, the business plays on to the name, to where the location's at.
Yep.
That's pretty dope. And how long you said you've been doing the business in total?
Officially, I started everything February 28th, 2019.
Wow. And look at you now. What are some of the I would say things you learned in the process of starting a business?
Oh, goodness. That's a good question. Some things that I've
A lot.
learned.
I'm pretty sure there's a lot of them. I'm pretty sure.
I would say definitely understand that you're not going to get everything right the first time. There's going to be a lot of trial and error, but that's okay because that's how you grow. You grow from mistakes, from lessons. I would also say that a lot of times it's really hard to get people to understand your vision. So often you feel like a true solopreneur because getting people to understand what it is you're trying to execute and trusting them with that execution, it can be a hard thing to kind of let go of. So I guess with that is also understanding the act of surrendering.
Mm,
We don't have it all, we don't know it all. And being able to really trust. I'm a firm believer in God. So being able to trust in Him and know that He's going to guide you on the path that you need to go on. You need to put your seatbelt on the passenger side and just let Him do His thing. Those are like some key lessons for me.
I love it. I love it. What were you doing prior to this? Were you already in the industry somehow?
I was not. I actually worked with direct response advertising. Completely opposite.
Wow.
Well, not completely
Yeah,
opposite, but
yeah, you had a little feet wet, I guess, in advertising, so
yeah,
that's all right.
it definitely helped me out because I created, oh, well, I can't say I created. I had a really good friend. Tatiana is amazing she definitely was able to see my vision and created this amazing commercial for me to kind of get everything launched. So, kind of, having that knowledge and her expertise, everything blended together. So,
Nice. I love it. Yeah, this is dope stuff right here. How you kind of just almost stumbled into this, right? COVID happens.
visually.
You still quickly pivoted and taking those lessons and making it greater. So, what is the most exciting thing that you've been able to do with this tourism business?
Wow. Hmm. The most exciting thing. I would just have to kind of collectively say the people that I've been able to meet. I think I've done some pretty dope stuff. Like I've met so many different content creators who are just excited specifically about the Black History Tour that I offer through my agency. They have showcased that, and just being able to connect with them on a personal level to understand who they are and how they got to where they are has been amazing. Um, Also, just some of the partnerships that I've been able to develop from this. There is an app that launched called Cray, and they were just like, hey, we need somebody to be able to go out and showcase these amazing experiences on top of what you already do in Miami. So I've been like parasailing and jet skiing. I've done some of everything just through this business. So it's just been awesome overall. The connections and just the things, I mean, I feel like we take for granted living here. You know, it's here every day, but we never do it. So fully like immersing myself into it, not just as a
Love it.
business person, but as a local, you know, kind of having that tourist experience has been great.
So you're traveling a lot, I'm gonna say, right? Having this tourism business, you had the opportunity to also travel. Is that correct?
I have.
What is the best place that you travel to?
Ooh, well, for research purposes, I would have to say New Orleans has hands down been my favorite. I'm a foodie, and the food in New Orleans, dear Lord, like I think I left 15 pounds heavier. So New Orleans would definitely be one of my favorites.
New Orleans. Is there somewhere that you would love to travel that you haven't been able to travel to yet?
Hmm. So, someplace I would say right now, thing that comes top of mind would be Turkey. I would love to be able to go internationally to Turkey.
Nice. Okay. All right. So, all right, you've done a lot of traveling. You've been able to help a lot of people traveling to Miami and have that experience. Seems like it's an exciting thing, fulfilling thing to do. But what's some of the things that you may have experienced that maybe led you to believe that this wasn't even possible?
Mm. So like I said, 2018 was super rough for me. And it played in my mind for quite some time. One of the last conversations I had with my now ex, he basically, in so many words, told me that I was going to be right where he left me. When he left, when we got divorced, he literally left me and my daughter with $74 in the account. We had a joint business
Wow.
together, and the intent was to make sure that the money that was remaining was to pay off whatever it was that was due at that time. So on the, I guess you say on the other side of that, kind of having everything finalized, that played consistently in my head. And it became self doubt. It wasn't just his voice now it was my voice telling me that because I heard it and it stuck with me. So I really had to, again, activate my faith. I had to remember whose I am and also who I am. And to really work on fighting through those negative things, because just like people can speak life into you, people can also try to speak death into you.
Absolutely.
And I had to make sure that I countered that, redirected that negativity into something positive. And again, like I said, activate my faith and really push forward capable of. So that really was something that tried to hinder me, but I pushed through.
Tried. Yes, you found
Pride
the strength to
is the
definitely
key word.
overcome. However, there's a key word that you continue to say, and I think we need to talk about it is faith. How
Yeah.
big is faith for you? I mean, there's a lot of
Woo.
faith that you've had in your life that you've had to, really live that and be that. Can you kind of elaborate on it and how important that is? It played not in your life, but just in general that people should have.
Yeah, so with faith, definitely has been a huge, huge element in my life. I grew up in the church. I'm PK. So just having that instilled in me in an early age is something that I've carried with me throughout. Regardless of any situation that I've been in, I always put faith at the forefront. And I know conversations with my mom, she would always tell me that fear is just false evidence appearing real, and we have to be able to counter that with our faith. And just being able to really remember those words, they really resonated with me, and understand that even the smallest amount of faith, that mustard seed faith that they talk about in the Bible, coupled with gratitude. To me, gratitude is also something that's super important. And I had mentioned before surrender. Those three things, once you put them together, that's a recipe for God to really manifest and to move in your life. So I remember having a conversation just this past Mother's Day with a friend. She was telling me about her son who had, I think he just turned 3. He's doing swim lessons, And she was saying how it's so difficult for us to be able to, especially as adults, kind of have this thing where we are really trusting the process when it comes to swimming. And one of the hardest things for us to do as adults is to float, lay on our back and just float. And I was like, well, why do you think that is? And she was like, well, if you think about it, biblically, she took it 100% biblically. I was not expecting it to take that turn. She was like, Jesus walked on water. But when he walked on water, if you replace walk with float, he floated on water. And that's because he had faith. He had faith that whatever it was, whatever he, excuse me, it wasn't Jesus that walked on water. He had Paul walk on water, or Peter. So she was like, he had to make sure he kept his eyes on Jesus, and he had to have that faith in order to walk on water or float on water. And with that came surrender. And that's because he 100% relinquished his control and gave God control. And I was like, wow, that's something that we have to be able to do in our lives daily. We have to be able to surrender and relinquish that to be able to activate our faith. And when we do that, we are able to push forward. So, like I said, faith is huge for me, and coupling it with those things and just being grateful, even though it might seem difficult at the time, being grateful for every single step in that journey will lead you that much closer to that end goal, the victory, that peak moment instead of that
Mm.
valley.
Listen, that's a story, man. That's a story, and I appreciate you elaborating on that. Congratulations, really, on what you've been able to accomplish. I mean, being left with $74 in your bank account, a young child at that, as a mom, and not really knowing what the next steps were. But here you are, right, being nominated for your work. It really just shows how you've been able to really have faith in who you were. I know it took some struggles, it took some adversity to overcome during those times. How do you look back at that person, that Kimaya, to the Kimaya that you see now?
Ooh, you're asking some good questions.
I
You're
told you
making
we just
me
having a
think.
conversation. We have it, yeah, we just having a good old conversation.
So I am so grateful for her because she taught me, present day, so many life lessons. She taught me how to reclaim who you are. She taught me how to
Mhm.
be resilient. She taught me how to just be strong and steadfast in the process. She taught me that everything is not going to always go your way, and that's okay. And I often talk about kind of like your younger self. I said, you know, my younger self, I would take her out for ice cream, let her know, like, I got you, girl. Like, so with that 2018 Kimaya, I would just like give her the biggest hug and just thank her for bringing me to this point. Like, she's pretty dope,
Yes.
and she was able to get us to where we are right now. So, high five, girl. All
Yeah,
right.
she was strong. She was strong and she never gave up. She was
No,
strong. She
she
never gave
didn't.
up. She was a role model for her daughter. How old is your daughter now?
She is 12, going on 25. Oh.
12, going to 25. She gets to see her mom doing her thing. And how does she feel about you having this business? Does it just excite her as well? Does she feel like she's about to travel the world with you? What is her insights on the
Oh,
business?
she loves it mostly because I'm like, hey, when you go with me to do X, Y, and Z, like I'll slide you some cash. And she's really good with like the photos and videography. So she doesn't go on every experience with me, but she does a lot. And she really enjoys it. She gets to meet new people. And I just love the fact that now I'm able to have these experiences with her. When I was working, you know, corporate 9 to 5 before, sometimes that 9 to 5 turned to 9 to 12 a.m. I missed a lot of experiences and opportunities to really connect with her. So the fact that we are able to do this together, even though she's 12, she is very knowledgeable. She has a lot of wisdom. So she will kind of be like, I don't think you need to do that. I think you need to do this instead, or that transition's horrible. Give me the phone. So, like, she gives her input. And I really, really
That's
appreciate
good.
the fact that we have that connection that we're able to make through the business.
Love it. So, was there entrepreneurs in your family prior to you?
There were. My mom is number five of seven sisters. And
Big
there
family.
are, yeah, there are off the top of my head two that I can think of that are actually entrepreneurs. So my aunt Sarah actually had a nonprofit that she started, and she's always generating ideas. So I wouldn't be surprised if there's another one in the works right now. My mom's twin, her oldest daughter, she's an entrepreneur. She is, when I tell you, like, she's a creative genius, just being able to kind of craft any and everything that you need, that's the one you go to. She has a successful press business where she designs t-shirts or custom items. So a lot of entrepreneurs in the family. Those two I'm rambling off the top of my head, but for sure, it's a lot of us.
No, that's cool. I just wanted to know. A lot of times, we become the first generation entrepreneurs. So I wanted to see what that background was, especially that you're showing your daughter what it is to really build a business, right? Build a
Mhm.
business from nothing. And how exciting and how does it make you feel for your daughter to actually see something like that? That you're building a business around something that you truly love, that brings you peace and happiness, also allowing the time for you and her to connect at all times. How does that make you feel as a
It's
mother now?
it's an awesome experience, and I think for her it's even better because she knows that she doesn't have to confine herself to some box or some mold of what society thinks she should do. You have to go to college to do X, Y, and Z. Although I would love for her to pursue higher education, I also want her to get a trade. And if she's passionate about certain things, being able to really hone in on that and understand that you have the opportunity to do whatever you want to do with that. So I think it's really important. And to me, it just warms my heart to know that we get to have this experience together.
I was saying from $75 in the account, did you jump right into entrepreneurship or did you secure a job for faster security and then transition into entrepreneurship? She put you in the hot seat. That's Ed putting you in the
We
hot seat with that question right there.
did. I
That's actually
actually
a good
did.
question. Go ahead, I'll put that back up there so you can
I
repeat it.
actually did not jump right into entrepreneurship right away. So I actually went through the divorce process first. And then, probably like a month later, it was all right, we're parting ways with the job. So, back to back, it's kind of how everything happened. He took everything out. Thankfully, the job wasn't lost beforehand, or we would have really been like left out high and dry. So with uh, having that income come in, the severance from that kind of secured us for a while until I was able to get the business going.
Perfect. How did you feel that you started the business and were you still doing the 9 to 5 or did you completely just take the leap of faith and say I'm putting my all into this business? What would that transition look like?
I took that leap of faith. And the reason why I don't want to say I was eager to do it, but I took that leap of faith because in my last role with advertising, I loved my boss. I truly did. We even still connect from time to time now. But I just remember seeing her being driven to work every day, and she just had this luxury to kind of like do whatever, and she was making bank. And I was just like, man, it's crazy because I'm missing these hours with my kid, and like all of this money, this revenue is coming into this business, and I'm struggling still. And again, missing those opportunities. And I remember actually interviewing for that job. I was with them for 3 years. And I remember telling myself after I was offered the job, this is the last job that I am going to work as diligently as I have worked to make somebody else wealthy. I didn't realize how soon those words were going to come back, but they came back. And I went full in once, we parted ways, and I dedicated all of my time to really pushing and promoting my business.
Beautiful. You got some love here. Saying, when is the award show Wanda and I are? They look at us supporting. Look like family
Oh, I love
supporting.
it.
The show is in Miami. The show is going to be June 28th. Hopefully, I'm getting that right today. And it's going to be at 7 p.m. So she is a nominee and hopes that she takes that award home. So you definitely want to be in the house to make sure that you support her when she does win that award. that. Let's
Yes.
talk about, let's speak it into existence. We want to speak those things into existence. That's so beautiful. So see really a family here as we are alive. Do you get a lot of family support?
Woo, well, that cousin in particular that just dropped the comment, when I tell you, like, he's a huge supporter, him and Wanda, they have been down, I believe, twice now for Key to MIA experiences. Absolutely love them. And Wanda apparently promotes my job, my business more than I do. So
I
I
love it.
appreciate her for that. My parents, my brother, goodness, I have a big family, so there have been a few cousins that have come down. I have a family that I've pretty much kind of created here who's like super supportive of things. Anytime somebody's coming down, they're like, oh, hit up Keymia for X, Y, and Z. So I really appreciate everybody who is just kind of become a part of that circle to make things a little bit easier, because entrepreneurship, whew.
It is. It is. It's sometimes a lonely world, right? Sometimes it's hard to have conversations, especially when you have a niche like you do. You don't have a lot of people that have a tourism business. At least I don't know many. Usually, when you get in the business, you may start to find a little bit more within that industry. But it is really hard to find someone and to see exactly maybe what to do, what's good and what's bad. In this case, you're probably learning a lot on your own. Would you say? Learning
I
just kind of
would
through trial and error?
Yep, I would definitely say that for sure. And there's a few business coaches that I've been able to connect with. And even though they may not necessarily understand the niche, they have been able to provide me with some tools to kind of get me to the next level. So I'm appreciative of them as well.
Do you have a bigger goal with this tourism business? I know right now you're a couple of years in, but being a couple of years in, do you see yourself growing in a different way, or what is the end goal for you, or at least what is the next level for Key to MIA?
So when I started the business, in my mind, I said that yes, MIA is the airport code here in Miami. It fits. I live here, but ultimately, I want to see myself wherever there is a major airport code. So I would love to be able to expand domestically at first, and to be able to offer experiences throughout the U.S. And sky's the limit from there.
Absolutely, I love it. Like we're going to speak into existence. It's going to happen. She about to go
Yeah.
domestically, all right, and she's going to hire a couple of employees as well because she can't do it
Yep.
on her own. So that's cool. That's cool. I have seen that you've been published. Can you talk about some of the places that you've been published?
Well, no.
Talk
Yeah,
about it, girl. Let's go.
I have been fortunate enough to be published in quite a few publications. So I remember starting the business on my vision board. I had three things listed. I had Legacy Magazine here in Miami. I even created like my own magazine cover for them. And on the cover, I had 40 under 40. So I wanted to be able to have that title. I also had this vision of being able to be featured in Travel Noir. And also, I said, I don't know how I'm gonna get in Forbes. I don't know if it's gonna be for the self made or what, but those were my things. I'm like, that's on my vision board. So, Legacy Magazine, I was able to be in it, and I was featured as one of the most influential and oh my goodness, I don't remember the whole title, but one of the most influential entrepreneurs here in South Miami or South Florida. And then I also got nominated for their 40 under 40. So that was check. And then in 2020, during the pandemic, I got featured in Forbes for my Melanin Miami tour. So that Black History tour, again, just really popping off. This year, I have had the honor of being featured again for my Melanin Miami tour in Condé Nast Traveler. And I have also been on TV1. So quite a few features there.
Oh, look at that.
Yes.
I wish your ex-husband is listening to these accolades right now because he's definitely gonna be eating these words that he mentioned to you. No, that's pretty dope, man. That's actually really amazing. And here you are, right, being acknowledged on another platform thanks to content creators experience on that. Um, Man, really, the sky's the limit for you. This is, you just don't know. Sometimes life happens for you. This is the same conversation that will happen yesterday with Barbara. Life happens. So like in ways that we don't understand, right? And
Hmm.
we go through these dark times, and I've kind of been in the when I've been talking to people, really wanting to let them know that you're going to go through some dark times in your life. Like things are not always going to be peaches and creams, but as long as you continue to execute and you don't give up on yourself, listen, the sky's the limit. There's so much more ahead of you. As long as God is giving you breath to wake up every
Yeah.
single morning, you still have the opportunity to really be the best version of yourself. And that's exactly what you did. When someone left you there, I would say almost kind of high and dry with no expectations on what life looked like the next day. Yes, we do. That is normal for you to get in your mind and start to question yourself and question who you are, maybe question your beliefs and things like that. But you were able to get it back together and say, "Nah, I'm more than this, right? I know my worth. I'm going to be better." And not so much to show him, but to show yourself, to show your daughter
Exactly.
that you're
Yeah.
you're good, because forget that, that's already in the past, right? But you had to show yourself how strong you are. So I mean, kudos to you for that's a
Yeah.
story in its own, right? That's a whole, you need to write a book on this story, you know what I mean? So definitely that's cool. What do you tell someone that is wanting to start a tourism business, someone that's excited, that wants to do exactly what you're doing? What are some of the um I would say tips and tricks you can provide them?
Hmm. So, if you wanted to start a tourism business, I would definitely say do your research wherever the area is. Starting out, I'm like, okay, well, tourism is real big here in Miami, but how many Black owned tourism businesses do we have? Let's narrow it down. How many female owned tourism businesses do we have here? So, kind of figuring out where you fit into the market, I think is really, really
Mhm.
important. And then also understanding what it is that you want to do within tourism. For me, I thought it was going to be these, kind of off the beaten path experiences where I'm traveling all over Miami, but it really just kind of narrowed it down to three signature ones and being able to create these bespoke experiences for people who wanted anything else. That way, I'm not tiring myself out because Miami is massive. So trying to do that is a lot.
Yeah, for sure.
So definitely narrow it down and figure out specifically what it is you want to do. And I would also say, on top of that, being clear on your vision, because I feel like everybody has an idea, but not too many people have a vision. So, understanding what it is that you want to execute within this role, I think is very, very important. And the last thing would be to make sure that you have a support system around you, but not only have that support system, but allow yourself to be vulnerable. Allow
Mm,
yourself to be able to not only share the success, but share those failures too. Sometimes it's
that's
really,
a good one.
really important to have those people around you. Like you said before, entrepreneurship can be a very lonely place. But being able to have those people there to support you in ways that you may not necessarily deem necessary is very necessary. So
So I actually want to talk about the entrepreneurship being very lonely. Did you ever hear people tell you that you shouldn't do this? Did you ever hear the negativity starting
I
this
didn't
business?
I didn't hear anybody tell me that I shouldn't do it, but I did hear. I feel like it's something a lot of us have probably heard. Oh, your little business, kind of downplaying or down talking what
Mm.
it is that you're doing. I heard that from time to time. Yeah.
And do you feel those were roadblocks within you getting to where you're at today? Or did you not even pay no mind to it?
I would say where I was mentally when I started the business, there were times that it did get to me. Um, just because I was already trying to work through a lot of the, I guess you say, emotional abuse that was placed on me through the divorce process. So, kind of having to counter those and understand their opinion is not valid. What is it that you want to do? How do you decide to move forward? Is it a little business? It might be little now, but what's your vision there? We don't expect it to be little for long, so don't let that affect you. I had to take that mindset.
All right. Listen, Evelyn told me that you were gonna be a little shy. You're gonna be a little nervous. I don't know. You've been doing a real good job right now. You've been really dropping a lot of good stuff and definitely some inspirational things that people could definitely take from it. As we start to wrap up, because I do want to respect your time, the question that always we want to leave with is, what was that know your worth moment? Maybe we already captured it, but do you remember that know your worth moment that allowed you to know, like, yeah, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna be an entrepreneur, and this is who I am. This is what I'm going to do because I love myself and I know my worth.
That know your worth moment. Whew. I think the first thing that comes to mind for me, like I said, I had quite a few content creators that have come and had experiences with me. But there is one, Martinique. I love her so much. Like, she is so amazing. I remember our initial interaction, the conversation that we had, just kind of leading up to her experience. And we did a 2 day private tour. Little did I know she was preparing for a TV show that she's doing for Nat Geo. And we did Black history, just throughout Miami. And I remember her, just having this conversation with me. And there was a time where she was trying to get back to the airport, and I'm like, well, if you need me to, I can take you to the airport. And she was just like, girl, don't inconvenience yourself to convenience somebody else. Like, I'm good. And that probably meant nothing to her, but for me, I was like, you know what, like, I need to take that approach throughout everything that I'm doing with my business. Like, don't inconvenience yourself to convenience other people, and even in life, like, have that philosophy. And just kind of having her, even still to this day, just be such an ally and a support. She is a constant reminder, like, what you're doing matters. And just know that you have this amazing impact on people. And even conversations with my mom, I have a lot that I post on social media, and she was voluntold during Black History Month that she's gonna go with me to create some content. I'm like, I have this vision in mind. I really want to be able to showcase some stuff. So she went with me. She did some recording. She helped me, come up with a few things. And I told her, she mentioned being a content creator. And I was like, I'm not a content creator. And she mentioned being a historian. I'm like, I'm not a historian. Like, people go to school for that. And she was like, girl, you are giving information to the masses. And this is stuff that people need to hear. Own that title and know who you are. So I'm like, yes,
Mhm.
ma'am. I am a historian for Miami. I'm delivering the content, whether it be verbally or through social media, it is being told. So just having people like them remind me is something that really sticks with me to make sure that I remember my worth. So yeah.
I love it. I love it. Yeah, you mentioned a lot of times throughout this interview as well that there were so many bits and pieces of people that unintentionally told you something that you to this day hold so valuable. And I can guarantee you that the conversation that we're having today, someone is going to take a little bit and piece from this particular conversation and they're going to walk away with it. So I definitely thank you for your time. Thank you for being so open and telling us not only the success stories and where you've been published and all these good things, but also that there were some dark times and you were able to overcome them. And I think that's the most important thing. And that's what this platform is really about. It's to showcase those kind of stories. Where can we find some more information if we want to know more about the tourism business? Is there a website? Is there a social media that somebody can follow so they can get some more information?
They definitely can. So on every social media platform, I am Key to MIA, KEY, the number two, MIA. The website is keytomia.com. Or even most people like to hit me up through Instagram, a direct message. You can send me a message. Usually I will try to respond within a few hours. So um, either that, or you can contact me through the website directly with any questions that you might have. I tell people at the end of every tour, I am your new best friend in Miami. So consider me as such if you have any questions.
Yeah, yeah. Save her number, save her IG, save the
Yes.
website. Whenever in your Miami, a beautiful destination, no matter where you're coming from, everyone always talks about Miami just as much as they talk about Orlando. So it's definitely excited. Thank you for your time. Is there anything that you would love to leave for the people that are watching?
I would like to again thank you for the opportunity to be on this platform, the nomination. Very excited about that. Like you said, we are speaking into existence that win. so,
Yeah.
outside of that, just with Key to MIA, there is a tour, an expansion tour of my Melanin Miami tour. So typically it's a 90-minute walking tour, but we are giving you 3 hours on a driving tour entitled The Cookout, because with the cookout, in Black culture, that is where you come. It's a safe space. Let your hair down, do the wobble, eat some food, all that good stuff. So we just really celebrate the culture. If you're in Miami, join us. We would love to have you. So
And
that's
what did you say a date? What was the date on that?
it is select dates June, and
Okay.
it might potentially be July as well, but right now for June. So look for the Saturday dates.
All right, you might want to go ahead and follow on social media so that you can get some more information. Thank you again to Keymia. Thank you again for the Content Creators Experience for putting on this collaboration. Don't forget, if you're in Miami and you want to go to the award show, June 28th, you guys can follow them at Content Creators EXP on social media, or you can go to the website at contentcreatorsexp.com. Until tomorrow for another episode, thank you so much, Keymia, for your time. It's been a pleasure, and we'll see you at the award show.
Yes. Thank you.